Hey everybody, this is Dr. J.
Hello.
Roger, streaming live from Long Island, New York, and Oakland, California. Hey. In Long Island, New York, it's a lovely, lovely spring day, heading into the Memorial Day weekend.
Yes,
Right?
it's very nice.
Yeah, very nice. So I just came back from eating lunch outside one of those outside restaurants.
Oh, nice.
Got some fresh air. It was really nice. I'm not in Eastern Long Island today, though. I'm in Middle Long Island, New York.
Right. Well, the
Middle,
weather's still good here, and there's still beaches in the middle.
yeah. And I'm back into bios in a pretty big way, but I'm also
Uh-huh.
back into EV in a pretty big way. So I didn't write it, but I'm going to add Neo to my list. It's become one of my big positions.
Nice.
And of course, Tesla. But I did write about a dozen stocks, and we're doing TGTX first for Dan A. TGTX has a beautiful chart. So, I mean,
Okay.
the chart speaks for itself with tremendous support at $32 a share. TGTX with some good news today, and it was up sharply pre-market. I was going to cash in. I'm sure Dan did pre-market because he's looking for a re-entry. But I said to myself, the hell with it. Every time I say the hell with it, I said the hell with it. I knew I had to cash in, but I was too freaking lazy to do it. Madman is on with us. Chris R is on with us.
Wow.
RMF Consulting has a few requests. Give us one. Give us one. I can't do so many.
Exactly.
Yeah, too many. Dan did predictably what I should have done. I thought about doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dan, you're an astute trader. I was going to do it, but I said, I'm too lazy. Too lazy to bother going out and in again.
Too lazy to grow for day.
Anthony, for you, we're gonna definitely chart Sava.
We have to. We also have to look to see if there's a buyback in Novus.
Yeah, Novus is $50 a share.
Well, that's what they said, but it's still trading above that.
Yeah, but it predictably will get down to $50 a share. You heard it here on Dr. J, Arjun and Spike, and friends.
Dr. J, I opened my first ever short last week. Guess what I picked?
To short.
Probably SRN.
Oh, that's right. Get on the show.
SRN.
I picked a Novus when I saw it was going into the 90s.
He did it on the show.
I couldn't do it, and it turned me down. My broker turned me down.
Mine let me. I snuck in at like 92, and I got out in the 60s.
Yeah, you did very, very well.
That's what I want.
At least one of us is making money in this Dr. J game.
Who is your broker? Who's your broker?
I got it done with Fidelity.
TD Ameritrade turned me down on a 1,000 share order. They turned me down.
I just got flashbacks to Sava, and I was like, "Why is this going to be any different?"
I would have made 30 grand.
Very good question.
I would have. It was an easy 30 grand. And my broker said no. I mean, I got
lucky.
Maybe I did something wrong when I placed the order. It's possible. I was trying to do two things at the same time, and like Jerry Ford, I had a little trouble doing that.
You don't think it was a volatility thing? I mean, yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I had a feeling they would turn me down on that.
Yeah. Well, regardless, that was a fun one.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm aggravated that they turned me down because money is money, you know?
Right.
Look at this. Andrew had the same problem as me. Andrew was on with me. It was watching the show live.
Everybody was dying at 90 to like dump.
So Andrew, when I did it, is that when you did it? Probably the same time you got turned down. I announced doing it.
And Arjun did it surreptitiously because he wasn't on the show.
Yeah,
He did crow about it in the comments.
I was on my way to a bachelor party in Palm Springs. Sorry.
For you or for somebody else?
Oh no, not mine. Somebody else.
You're getting married soon too, right?
Yeah, in about a year, but I haven't done mine yet.
What I personally think is we'll see 50 or below. I don't know what it is today. I didn't look.
I think it is 50.
Right now it's 51 and a nickel.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when it was 56, I was thinking of shorting it then. But I said, the hell with it. I'm saying the hell.
You got to buy at some point.
Yeah,
Right.
but then, I don't know. I just didn't do it. I know the right thing to do all the time, but I don't always do the right thing. What am I going to do?
That's what my wife says to me.
I tell everybody else what to do. Only a 4.4 million float. Yeah. I'm sure that's what it was. It's not that my broker hates me, right? Doesn't have anything personal.
How many trades in one day do you do for free?
Enough.
So, is your broker making any money off you?
No, I think they're all free.
Well, there's your answer.
I have two brokers, Merrill Lynch and TD Ameritrade, both free.
But yeah, no, Merrill probably wouldn't have done it either.
I didn't try Merrill. I tried TD Ameritrade on the show.
Well, Fidelity, they let me.
Good.
Now I'm going to open a Fidelity account just for that reason.
Just for that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Denali. Andrew's liking Denali.
Denali Therapeutics.
Dan is not too proud to take 2 points. He is not too proud. I was too proud to take 2 points.
Wow. Good day today.
Kamal had a good day.
Nice.
I think. Did he? What did he say? Oh, that hurts.
Oof.
That hurts.
Oy.
What happened?
Sold a Novus at 28.
Oh, 28. Ouch. Ouch is right.
Let me get down to business because, what we coulda, shoulda, woulda, all of that is bullshit. Yep. What matters is the future.
The next move only.
The past
exactly. Onward and upward. Forward.
It doesn't matter that world, the Nova digits, and that Dr. J said in January, the year of the AD drug. Didn't I say that in January over and over again?
You did.
This is the year so far, there's the Alzheimer's drugs.
So far, there have been two big runners.
Yeah, and waiting till Biogen makes it.
Yep.
If they get the approval.
Biogen and Lilly. Biogen, right. Lilly, and avxl. We got a shot.
avxl. I went in and out of. I'm not in that now. Is that worth going into?
Yeah.
Back in.
Let's look at the charts. The chart says. Yeah, Dan said easy money is over.
Well, that's for those two. We still got the other three that Dr. mentioned.
Yeah. avxl, Biogen, and Lilly could easily pop, any one of them.
And Sava
probably
could make
Biogen, if it gets approved, will go up $100.
Big F.
Sava could make another run.
And Sava can make another run.
Novus can make another run 2 months from now when it comes out. When it comes. So don't count out a Novus run.
No, that's my hope. I'm going back in very soon.
Down the road. Are we talking? Are we talking too much? Talking stocks. That's the name of the show, right?
Right. It's talking stocks, right?
So there's nothing wrong with talking stocks as long. People don't like when I talk about the New York Yankees or I talk about the Knicks. They say, who cares about these New York teams?
Yeah, I did go to the Met game yesterday, though.
If we're talking about, it really annoyed me, that 2-point loss to the Atlanta Hawks in basketball. The Knicks lost at the end, 2 points.
Yeah.
That was such
That
a
was
close
that was
game.
hard. That was hard to take.
Trey
Very
Young,
hard to take.
how does one stop Trey Young? That's what I want to know.
Hmm.
The Knicks couldn't figure it out.
You don't. You just contain him a
Atlanta was,
little.
Well,
wasn't
you tattle
Atlanta
on him when he
picked
cheats.
at the beginning of Atlanta was picked at the beginning of the season. Nobody picked the Knicks, and here they are battling Atlanta for the 4 and 5 spot. In the,
Yeah, that was an important win.
I'm going to predict that it goes 7. What do you think? Series.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Atlanta-
Six or seven.
It's going to be scrappy.
I'm going to say Atlanta in 7, even though I'm rooting for the Knicks.
That's because that's a reverse jinx. That's what we call that.
No, it's just my honest feeling. It's the way I feel about it.
Trey
that's why
is the player you want to have in that series. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Mantis. I think we are going to get parcels of news, but I think we'll get big news in 2 months. I don't know.
So we nibble along until then.
Saeed has something to be proud of, a tremendous record. Best, not only in the Western Conference, but the best in basketball. They are a great team, and yet I think the Lakers picked over them or something like that. It was very close in the Vegas odds. That's what somebody told me anyway. The 7 seed is picked over the 1. Does that make sense?
Nope.
But I guess when you have LeBron and AD on the team, that makes sense. They're both healthy.
Exactly. Some people are comfortable there in the playoffs.
Dan requested first. He goes first. He was on first. First one here today before me. And he requests TGTX. I shot it. Let's look at it.
Okay.
Yeah.
You got to take that comment off before you start showing your charts.
Oh, all right. Okay, it's off. Now I got to go back and share screen. It's hard to get down to business when we have so much kibitzing to do.
Exactly.
How about those Oakland A's this year? How they doing?
The Oakland who?
Those Oakland A's.
Yeah, well, the prefix Oakland may not be applicable.
Oakland A's. I don't know. I mean, they're doing good, but I'm worried they're not going to be here much longer.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing they didn't invest good thing Oakland didn't invest in a new stadium.
Ugh, they still have time too, but it's getting to the witching hour.
I mean, you see all the treatment that the Raiders are getting in Las Vegas.
Yeah, seriously.
All right, what are we looking at
my
here?
computer's slow today. I can see that. I don't like it. Maybe we might just have to be talking stocks instead of looking at the charts.
We have to walk stocks because we have to walk the walk.
Well, I can chart them on my phone and just talk about them. If worst comes to worst. Oh, there we go.
I think it'll work.
It's getting there now.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was slow. I was on a Zoom meeting and it was kind of slow that I hosted earlier today. Better by now, but Verizon is Verizon. What can I say? So today we're up 2 pennies on TGTX. The pre-market was up over $36. I saw it, and we've come back down off the open. Where did we open? We opened at 34.75, so we'll come back down $1 off the open with that support at the 9-day right now. The low of the day was 33.28. We're well off the low. And what's really interesting is this solid trend line of support. It has so many touches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got about 6 touches, and if I look back further, to be more. So this is a tremendous line. It's very meaningful. It's $32 there area. So I think that holds. If it doesn't hold, it could be trouble. But I think it holds. And if I think $32 holds, then where do I think is a good time to get in? Probably at the bottom today, which was 32, whatever it was.
Yeah.
So you're 50 cents above where you should have gotten in, right at the 9-day support line. Doesn't mean it's
yeah, I mean,
too
it
late
looks
to
like
get in,
that gap. That gap has been filled from December.
I mean, if you sold it at over 36, take your 2 points and get back in.
Yeah.
If I sold it over 36, I think I would be back in already. But then again, I didn't sell it over 36, so who am I to talk? Right? But I don't have the right to talk because I didn't take the initiative and sell it pre-market. I dilly-dallied. I thought about it. I was up early enough to do it. And I said, I'm going to let this ride. And partly out of inertia, I don't have that much of it where it meant that much money. So, that's really the reason. If I had more shares, I probably would have been out. But for the number of shares I had, I was too lazy to put the trade in.
Yeah.
I know it's a poor excuse, but I'm trying to think of a rationalization for why I didn't sell pre-market. It's the best I could do. And again, if anything, my next move will probably be to buy, not to hold, not to sell, but to buy. I don't know if I'll buy aftermarket or sometime during the show, but I like this stock. Again, I don't see tremendous urgency, but I think the trend line is clearly pointing up, and you got this solid bottom. So you could even swing it if you want. You could swing it right up to the resistance, right up to 38.72, or close to it. Yeah, this is a Dan A swing trade. In at 33.75, out at 37.75 for 4 points. This is a Dan A special. And if it goes below 32, you take
you bet, right?
Yeah.
31.75, and you say, I lost 2 points. And what are you going to do? You win some, you lose some, but this looked like a pretty good bet.
Yeah, this one seems safe. I like it. The chart's
like
beautiful.
Pretty good bet. Now, I got a lot of stocks listed. You want to do them in a particular order, or?
Well, I mean, as long as we get to mine before 12:50, because I gotta.
Why don't we do the Argent specials first?
Yeah, I want to talk to everyone, reminding them of the fundamentals of VBIV, what we're waiting on for VBIV.
Right. Yes.
Pretend that nobody ever listened to the show before. This is the first time we're talking about VBIV. What would you tell people?
Yeah, I would tell you, first of all, that this company has many bullets in their chamber. They're not a one drug in the pipeline play. This is playing a few different angles. The first and their biggest part of their strategy is Hep B. They want to be one-stop shopping for Hep B. They have a vaccine that should be very likely to get approval later this year. That is a portion of what I think will make up a market cap increase of maybe, I don't know, 50 to 70% from this, just based on those peak sales. But then the Hep B therapeutic combined with that, the Hep B therapeutics in phase 2, those two can make them a one-stop shop for Hep B.
When do we get data on phase 2 trials?
So that's later this year. There isn't a set date. I think it's Q3. And then glioblastoma is the other play. That's play 2 of 3. I'm saving the COVID one for last because I consider that to be the wild card of the group. The GBM stuff data should also come, I think, Q2 or Q3. But their most recent data release was also very good from the phase 1b/2a.
So this is still phase 1, 2A?
For GBM, they released data from 1b/2a, so they're moving into later phase 2 stuff.
So a 2B?
Yeah, 2b/3. I don't know when it would start. These things take a while.
Right.
But then the last piece is COVID.
The data so far in GBM look good?
Excellent. Yep, looks very good.
Okay.
So then the final piece is COVID. A lot of people think COVID's over. I'm skeptical, especially the vaccine front. I think a lot of improvements can be made. The Gen 1 was great. Gen 2, the approach of these companies is a pan-COVID approach. So basically, rather than just target the active SARS-CoV-2, you're looking at SARS, MERS, like all the different coronaviruses. And so they have this technology called enveloped virus-like particles, where basically that gets injected into the body and it's able to provide more robust protection against all coronaviruses rather than just targeting 1 or 2 variants. There's spike proteins on the outside of the particles, each one optimally targeting a different variant. And we are very likely to get data from that within 4 to 6 weeks.
So you're saying no matter how it mutates, it'll still be effective?
That's what they are testing currently in humans, yes.
Uh-huh.
From the animal studies, it looks like that's what it's doing.
Well, would that apply to the common cold, which is a coronavirus?
Yeah, they're basically trying to cure coronavirus. Yeah.
So you're saying there won't be, if people get vaccinated with this vaccine, potentially no one will go achoo?
Well, not for that reason. They would not go achoo potentially. Yeah, this is what they're aiming for. They're starting, I think, with just 3 or 4 variants. So I think SARS-CoV-2, the older SARS from the early 2000s, and then MERS. And then also,
are they targeting specific coronaviruses or is it general coronavirus?
in these human trials, these are specific.
Okay.
So everything we're talking about curing the common cold, that would be much further down the line. And I don't even think that's what they care about short term.
Right.
But as they're trying to get as many of these variants and deadlier ones under their umbrella as quickly as possible. And the other portion that's really important is they have a temperature stable vaccine. So there isn't need for this crazy, refrigeration or freezer, especially in third world countries. It can be super useful. So long story short, a lot of different angles of why I'm playing this. COVID being the one that could really, really make this run, but even just as a Hep B brain cancer floor, I like it to go to $7 at some point this year, maybe $6 or $7. Yeah.
I suppose you don't mind that it's in a Zoom channel and it came all the way up from below 250 to touch 334 yesterday, 2 days ago. You don't mind that too much, that part of it, right?
I don't at all. Yeah, it looks. I mean, this is where I pass it off to you. This is where you tell me, where are we buying more?
Well, right now, because it's sitting at the 9.
Excellent.
And it's just above the bottom of the channel.
Yeah.
So, you're looking at potentially a drop to, let's say, not much more, maybe 298. You're looking at pennies. If it drops tomorrow to 295, that would be about it. Mm-hmm. And on that side that I see, and even if it just comes back up to the upper end of the channel, you're looking at you're probably better at looking at these numbers than me, but you're probably looking at about 36. No, 3.6. I don't know what number this is. What number is this?
Right there. That would be like 335, 340. I don't know.
This is 335, so this has got to be 340.
Yeah, 340.
Yeah,
There you
so
go.
you're looking at more than a 10% move up, and you could play a very tight stop, right? On this one. It's, in other words, I think you can swing it from one bottom of the channel to the top of the channel. And if it closes above this key level, 330, close above 330, break out the piggy bank.
Yep.
Because then I think it's going immediately to the 370 test level, and get above 370 no highs.
So
I
based
think
on everything you're saying, based on everything you're saying, this aligns closely with the timeline of the data release for COVID. Like it's gonna be probably a month, and everything you're describing sounds like what can play out within that month on a run up to that.
See, and I don't have to know anything about it. I just look at the damn chart.
I'm just happy when the fundamentals and the technicals line up, at least to some extent.
Oh, gee, I mean, it looks really nice.
Yeah.
Right now, it looks nice for a swing. It looks nice with a close above 330 to run to 370. And if it gets past 370, it looks like new highs. So this one has a lot.
Kabal and I are both getting very impatient. So that's
a lot of potential. A lot of potential.
Yeah, I'm in to win it, but
I want to look at the next stock that you love, Albo.
Albo, yes.
Yeah, they got that positive EU opinion, which was expected, but still very nice to see.
Now this is liver, fatty liver, right?
Pediatric liver. They have plans to expand into adult, but the PDUFA in July is for pediatric liver. Yeah.
Okay, the NDRA is fatty liver.
Yeah, and that's tech more than it is a drug. Yeah. NDRA is basically trying to make a cheaper version of the MRI. Yeah.
It's a device, right?
Yeah, it's a less invasive version of MRI that costs like 1/40th of the price or something.
And
yeah, this one is a drug. This one's called odabixavat, I believe, and
it's a drag.
It's a drag. It's a drug. It's a lot of things.
Well, on Friday when I was on with Professor Spike, we looked at this candle. And I told him, Professor Spike, immediately, I wouldn't buy here because it looks like it very likely is going to fill that gap. Remember, then I looked at this candle. I said the closing gap was 31.46. We now filled that gap, which means we're all clear to buy it.
Okay.
With support at the 9. So I nailed this perfectly on Friday, saying, don't buy here, wait for the pullback.
Right, when it did that little pop. Right.
That's a good call.
I've been so amazing in my predictions lately that I'm shocking myself.
We're impressed. We're impressed too, Dr. J.
No, but I'm not impressed with myself. I'm just in shock.
Well, I'm impressed with you.
I mean, there's consistency in the way you're calling these, so I think it's just it's more than it's not luck. It's a good pattern.
You know what it is though? Clearly, you could have said 50-50. The gap is going to be filled, or the gap isn't going to be filled. I said the gap was going to be filled, and I felt it with conviction. So I almost don't know why myself. I felt that way with conviction, but I did.
I think it's because I think the reason for that is the news was not, it was a recommendation for approval. It wasn't like anything groundbreaking.
Right. I just didn't like the color of the candle and so on.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
And in any event, I guess it was more than just a gut feeling. But when you stop and think about it, it's a binary call. Yes, it'll fill the gap. No, it will not. I was on the side that it would, and now I'm saying it's okay to buy because we did fill that gap. And when is PDUFA on this?
July.
Mid-July.
I forget, either second or third week, I think. Yeah.
So you're looking at like in 6-7 weeks, PDUFA coming. It's time to get on board, nibble.
Yeah, nibble. I expect a run up, and then do what we always do: just hedge a little bit the day or 2 days before, and ride the rest to 100.
And even if the 9 doesn't hold, you got trend line support just below it, like at 30.92, something like that. Let's look at it out here. 31-ish. You got trend line support if the 9 doesn't hold. So you got a lot of support there, a lot of support. And this chart's looking real good.
I've been starting to do more research on the market potential. So far, it's looking like $1 billion in peak sales is what I would be targeting for Otabixavat. So,
what's the market cap?
Market cap is quite low. Let me double check exactly what it is. Also a very low float, if I recall. Yeah, market cap's only like 600 mil, so I like it.
You could easily go up fourfold with $1 billion market cap.
Right. That's kind of how I've been.
4 times 600 million is 2.4 billion. That's easy.
Yeah.
It would be $120 we're looking at here. We should be charging. We're giving away way too much. Sava from $8, Novus from under 10. Those two alone. Now we're giving you the world Albo at $30 when it's going to 120, right, Arjun? Albo is strictly our own and do not constitute investment advice. Check with an advisor before I can do your own due diligence. But at the same time, Dr. J, Professor Spike, and Arjun have been hot. So there is merit to our insanity. There is merit to watching it. Even if we bore you to death, there's merit to watching it. Even if Dr. J talks about the damn Yankees or the Mets or the Nets or whatever New York team you hate, it's still worth putting up with, right?
I mean, if you enjoy having your money go up.
You're a handsome guy, Dr. J.
Yeah, that
too. And, we're only espousing biotechs that are going to change the world, change life for the better. So what's wrong with that? And we're very bullish. We're very, very bullish most everything except SRNE.
Right.
Yeah. The other part here is that I've had a lot of luck with orphan plays, and this is another orphan drug. I think that the market really, or the FDA really wants this one. That's my opinion, but I think that this one, I'd say pretty low likelihood of a CRL, but it's always possible. But
so we're looking for a ride after approval up to 120, quite possibly.
Quite possibly. I would expect a raise at some advantageous number, but
right, no doubt.
That's okay. After it runs to 80, that's fine.
I guess you're also big on NDRA. I haven't sold any of that yet.
Yeah, that one. I mean, I wish I had a timeline. It literally could be any day because there's no PDUFA because it's a device.
Do you want me to chart that one, or should I skip over to BCRX? And
if you'd like, yeah, I've taken up a lot of time, but yeah, if you'd like.
No, you're giving people what they want.
Yeah, you're hosting the show.
valuable information.
Yeah,
Valuable.
let's give it to him then.
Does Colbert say that he has too much FaceTime on his show?
Enver put in a solid bottom, solid right in here.
Yeah.
So we based finally.
I bought a pretty big chunk as soon as I saw it below 2. I was like, that just doesn't look right.
It's been falling for a while, right? It's had a fall from grace.
Since January, it's been on this kind of, whatever you want to call it, slight decline, treading water, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but now, I mean, we have a low, a higher low, a higher low, and now we have a lower low, but it based.
Yeah.
I think. I'd say there's a fairly good chance that we bottomed here or quite possibly here. So we have a little buffer of support, but not immediately below. We're looking at 180 area.
Yeah. So like 10% downside, 15% downside.
As always, I love the middle of this candle for pullback to get in. And that happened already. So it's happening now. The middle of this candle is proving to be support. Right about there. And hopefully, if you're in this one, 220, 206 will hold. Well, hopefully, if 206 doesn't hold, it could be retesting the lows. So this one doesn't look as secure as the previous two, but it isn't as secure as the previous two. I guess there's more unknowns and whether it'll get approval and all of that. When and if, right? When and if.
Exactly. I mean, I don't even know if you'll get any clues on the chart. It'll just kind of happen one day after hours, and you'll be like, "Oh, all right."
Yeah. The chart has not turned markedly bullish, unlike VBIV and unlike Albo. So, they tempt me a lot more, even though the fundamentals here are very nice. The technicals aren't as good. So, all right, let's do BCRX before you have to leave.
Yep. Our safety blanket.
Let's kind of we'll have a review lesson. We'll talk about Orladeyo, its approval in the States, its approval in Japan, its approval in Europe, what that means to the company. We'll talk about galidesivir and what that means. We'll talk about the other approved antiviral drug, paramivir, what that means. Probably saying it wrong. And we'll talk about whatever else you want to talk about. You're the fundamentals guy, so.
Yeah. So the money maker here in the short to medium term, Orladeyo, like you said, got approved back in December. That was when all of us were starting to load up on this and took a swing at that PDUFA. It hit, and then not only did it hit, there was a really shrewd move by management to fund their further development of their other pipeline drugs with a non-dilutive raise, and that's when it really started to run up to the high single digits. Then you had back in February the whole Reddit nonsense, which pumped and pulled back, but then the most recent earnings for Orladeyo was Q1, and everyone expected really slow ramp up to the tune of maybe 3-4 million in sales, and they hit almost 11 million. So that was a really nice surprise.
Everyone except Arjun, who said they will beat easily and handle it.
I mean, yeah, it just made sense given the patterns I had seen with sales reps jumping over from Takeda, and I was just betting on the management to not mess this up, and so far they haven't. And what I think is really like, I think you have time here though to load from a fundamental perspective. I mean, the chart looks great regardless, but I think Q2 earnings.
It doesn't look that great. You know, we've been in a Zoom channel. At very short term, we're in a little bit of a give back period.
Right. But it gave back about half of that candle.
It could give back all the way to the bottom end of the channel.
It could, yeah. High 12s.
1280.
Right. Yeah, so short-term technicals, yeah, I agree. But you're still.
Don't forget to tell everyone about PNH.
Oh yeah, PNH. So that's the one that'll take quite a bit longer. But the phase 1 data, which dropped back in March, which was, as you put it, the dog and pony show R&D day, where it kind of looked like a big "we're for sale" sign. I agree with that a lot. So that's the other angle of this, the buyout potentially, but you can never predict that accurately. But PNH, which is basically your blood cells rupture. It's a really rare condition that not too many people in the world have. I think only a couple thousand are diagnosed. The phase 1 data looked amazing, basically proved that people would no longer need transfusions, at least on the small sample size they had. Once a day oral pill again, so less invasive, and just quality of life metrics from the patients they interviewed. Anecdotally and the metrics both look pretty good. So pivotal trial is going to start later this year. And this also has an orphan drug designation. So, I mean, the data from phase 3, unless they have like interim readouts, it won't be till next year. But
tell us the story with galidesivir. It's being stockpiled by the government?
It's being stockpiled by the government. There was a case last year for it to be very effective against COVID. That flopped for who knows what reason. Could have been mismanagement. It could have been just the trials weren't timely enough. It's kind of unclear, but I would say don't put any stock in that anymore. There's no evidence that Gali will be used for COVID, but it's being stockpiled for Zika, I believe, Ebola. And so the government is giving BCRX basically recurring revenues for this quarterly that, they're not huge, but it's something that is basically at no cost to them in terms of development. So what else? Peramivir. Peramivir is the one for the flu. I don't know as much about that one.
Again, that's also stockpiled from bird flu or whatever kind of flu.
Yeah, and they made, I think you're right. I think the revenue, I think they got like 6 million last quarter in revenue from that too. So, all these things add up. Orladeyo, though, is the one where analysts are saying 500 million peak sales, but management seems very, very confident they're going to beat that. And if they keep beating these earnings significantly, I believe it.
Very capable management team led by John Stonehouse, right?
Yeah, he's been with that company for literally forever. And the other thing I'm really excited for, we're going to see how the EU launch goes. Like US, it looks like it's going great, but EU has just started. So you might see the coattails from that in like Q3 earnings. And if that goes as well as the US, then the beat of Q3 earnings might even be bigger than Q2. And then that's when this starts to really get.
I'll just say another word about the fundamental technicals. It's trading below the 9, but the 9 is well above the 50, well above it, which is well above the 100, which is way, way above the 200. So you have a very bullish chart, which makes me think that when it pulls back to the bottom trend line, which I think it will, of the channel, be an excellent entry point. So, or an excellent place to add, in the high 12s.
Yeah.
I see no reason to doubt that it stays in the channel. Put it to that
Yeah.
way.
I think you might see swings up and down for a couple months, but Q2 earnings, I think I saw something on this chart from like years ago where it was in the like 1683 to 17 level. That's where I think Q2 earnings is going to take us. 17. Calling that now, $17.
All right. So, is there anything else you want before you got to go?
No, those are all my favorites. I can stay on for 10 minutes. I want to learn something from you.
Then let's go with athx.
Good idea.
athx.
Finally has a decent trend line forming, finally. So let's
I'll be
see
back
if we
in
can
1 sec.
So, Peter, you still bullish on this? Pete's been talking about BCRX, but he hasn't talked about athx for a while.
I added, let me think how many percent. I just added about 20% more at 163. So yeah, I'm bullish. I'm frustrated. I'm a frustrated bull, but
I hear you. I'm pretty deep in this too.
I complain every time I add, but nevertheless, I said this is one of those stocks where you have to hold your nose when you add or when you buy, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run.
Well, at least the 9 days creeping up, which I like to see.
Yeah, I mean, you have a vicious resistance up around that $1.80 level. But the 9 day is holding, like Professor Spike said, and we have a new trend line going up. So there's at least some reason from the chart to like it, whereas up until recently there's been no reason to like it. So some reason is better than no reason.
Yeah.
What's with the lack of my drawing ability here? I'm clicking and nothing happens. Oh, there we go.
And there's a lot of extraneous lines again, like usual. There you go.
Well, we'll live with them. But you see that we have that clear. Well, this line shows the bottom that we put in at 140. And now this line is the new trend line I just drew. And we're at trend line support right now. So we're trending back up. The question is, can we take out that damn resistance up around $1.70? Let me see what this high is, $1.69. Very tough. We take that out, and then we have a little more resistance at $1.75, a little more to $1.80, and we clear that. I think we could probably run. But there's hurdles. You're running into. You have a little tailwind, but you're going to be running into headwinds real soon. So
some of these lines up here are pretty old. Like the lines around in the two-ish range. That's like that was like last summer.
I've been in this one for 18 years, and so what do you want? There should be a lot of lines, a lot of wrinkles in my face too to go with the lines.
Right. Pete's asking about the Japan trial for athx.
Yes. Pick a day, pick a week, pick a month. Hopefully, we know the year that it completes.
And what year is that, Dr. J?
Well, this year.
Oh, okay.
The Treasury trial.
Just checking.
Helios said they're 90% complete. That was at their last earnings call. I don't remember how long ago that was. But that trial has been going on for about a year. So if it took a year to do 90%, 10% of a year is about the worst, let's say 2 months. So it could be any day, any week, any month. that we get the news about the completion of the trial. And once that trial, that's a substantial trial. I forget how many 400 people, something like that. And of course, they're blaming COVID odds for it going slow. Not COVID odds, COVID-19 for it going slowly, but that seems like BS. Only now Japan is experiencing a fourth wave of the COVID-19 coronavirus, SARS-2, whatever you want to call it. And they got their problems with the Olympics, whether to cancel or not, right? They're not going to cancel.
No way.
No way. Too much money.
But they might just not let foreign nationals in.
Yeah, they're not going to cancel. But Pete, the answer to the trial in Japan is, your guess is as good as mine, but sooner as opposed to later, hopefully. If it is, the problem is from the date of the last person being treated, you got 6 months wait to get any data analysis. So that's not
6
until
months.
Yeah.
The holders of CVM would die for 6 months.
Ha. Well, I'm not saying approval. I'm saying that's when you get the data. I don't know how quickly Japan is going to move on approval. But the PMDA said full steam ahead with stem cells. That's what they claim. So there's reason to be optimistic that this thing could be approved in Japan first quarter of 2022. How's that?
Okay.
Reasonable?
Well, look, I promised you I'd buy and stay in this one 2 years ago, so I could wait another 2 years.
It seems like it seems a little bit like cold fusion, right? Where you always 5 years, another 5 years we'll have it, or the cure for cancer, another 5 years. We'll have
Right, and a decent electric car.
And a decent electric car that knows how to drive itself. Everything is a 5-year plan, except with athx, it's like 50-year plan or something.
That'll be my retirement.
They should do.
That'll be Arjun's retirement.
They sure don't move.
I don't own any athx's, but maybe I should eventually buy some.
Join the club, and misery loves company.
Yeah, if it gets to $1.50, just buy it on a whim.
Yeah, true.
I'm going to buy more. I want to get back up to where I was. I was at one point.
This was your biggest holding for a while.
Yeah, I had at least triple what I have now, so I want to get back up there. But I'm not in no hurry to do so, even though it's trending up. So I'm buying it.
12:57. Yeah, I gotta hop off, but nice show today.
I really probably should just hold my nose and buy it all at one time and just get over with.
Well, Arjun, have a good one. We'll see you soon.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks. Hopefully Friday can work.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, you too. See you soon.
So the show is running a little long. If we're gonna go, are we gonna do electric vehicles, or are we gonna do the Alzheimer's plays? What is your choice?
Yeah. Can you look after Dan? There's somebody that came on with 3 or 4 requests. Pick one of them, and we'll do it.
All right. Well, I mean, Pete's looking for Ford. And
second person that
so Pete was looking for the EV plays. Let me see who else was looking. Andrew was talking about Denali, but we sort of mentioned that. We didn't do the chart for Denali. Maybe we should.
I'm actually making good money suddenly on Denali.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
Let's see, most of the other conversations.
Well, let me come back, see if I can find it.
The other one was CTXR. That was the only other one.
There was somebody that had like 3 or 4. RMF Consulting, TCON, FBRX, and SVRA. Which pick one? You pick one. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo.
Mo.
How about SVRA? Will do.
Okay.
I think I heard of that one. I'm really not. I don't know every four letters on the board. I should by now.
I,
I don't.
that's right. I already have stock in IMHO.
Yeah, in my humble opinion.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody said that. I was like, oh, okay. Let me invest in that.
Yeah.
I'll end
All
up doing better with those stocks. You know, LLMF.
I don't
I've
even
never
know
heard of this
what
guy
they
either.
are. I don't know if they. I don't know if they make coffee or drugs or what they
Yeah, I'll
do.
tell you in a second.
It's trading at the same
Clinical
price
stage
as
pharmaceutical
Athx's, so.
company, the development of novel therapies for serious life-threatening respiratory diseases.
Ah, okay.
And they got an
You
inhaled
don't know anything about.
formulation of one of their drugs. It's funny
I
how
don't like it.
a drug for lungs actually asks that you inhale it.
I don't like those inhalables
They haven't
because
been doing well for us because we did a couple of those, and they've sort of languished.
well, Mankind is an example.
Right. And
I've
mankind is not making me happy.
had great luck with Mankind on swing trades, so I can't complain. But it's languishing at this point, along with so many other biotechs. Gee, this one it had a beautiful run up until this point where it topped out at 247, and it's been the opposite. I mean, it's like a perfect V, right? To that point, it's like that undone everything that it did to get there. Look at what it did, where it came
Right.
from. And look at the other line. Isn't it like almost whatever you want to call it, 40, 90, I don't know what, not two triangle.
Minus X squared.
But it looks like exactly the opposite mirror image, right? Pretty much, if you look at it quickly anyway. And it's given back everything plus. I mean, well, I don't know about plus. If it started here at a low of $1.45, it bottomed here at $1.48. Basically, it undid everything. It's just uncanny. Forget about it. I'm not going up. I'm going to give it all back. This was a frustrating hold. If somebody was in it for all that time without getting out, it's just frustration. I'm frustrated I didn't hit horizontal instead.
Right. Well,
In any event, I don't know. I mean, what has it got going for it that's good? First of all, the 9 is crossed everything except the 200, but the 200 is still below the 100, which is still below the 50. With all of that, it's still a bullish chart in that respect. So that's pretty incredible. But the price is below the 50 and below the 100 and below the 90.
mm-hmm.
So the good news is it looks like we're starting a slow leg up. The bad news is I'm not sure that we're breaking out of this continued decline. So I'm not sure that this low of 148 is going to hold or not. It moves a move up and then another move down. That's been the pattern, right? So we had to move up, move down,
Right.
move up, move down, move up. We should get a move down. And basically,
Right, but you still have some resistance down there.
We should get it now. If we don't get it now, and it continues to move up, then I'd be a buyer.
Right.
So the next few days are very critical here
I see what you're saying.
because it's supposed to, from the pattern, it should start moving down when it hits the trend line, you see? See
Yeah.
this trend? When it hits this trend line, which it did, it should begin to start moving down again. So if it doesn't break below this trend line and it continues up on the trend line, I'd be a buyer here because then it's breaking the pattern.
Gotcha.
Very simple. Very, very simple to look at. If it continues on up a few more days, then it looks like a buy. If it breaks below that trend line, then you're probably taking out the recent low.
Yeah.
So the next couple of days should tell the story here. I'm not going to condemn this one because I think the story isn't over, at least not yet. So looking at this without knowing anything about their inhalable lung drug, you know, might be breaking back up, breaking that downward pattern. It might be at this point. Next few days are very critical here. So I'm glad we looked at this. I hope that our new peanut gallery member
Right.
values this chart. What else?
Let's do Ford for Pete, and then we'll do Ford and coin, and then we'll get out.
We got it. Ford has had a meteoric rise since.
Again, because they're all EV plays now.
Yeah,
and the market for cars is unbelievable.
And also the electrified truck can actually serve as
right, the F-150.
It could serve as a backup for your house. Pretty incredible.
Right, there's your new generator.
Yeah, exactly right. I forget how many days. Something like 3 days, I think. Has enough juice. Yeah, it's pretty. That's the selling point. It's going like crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
Pete's saying if we were doing that weekly game, this would have been a good one for that weekly game.
Yeah, I'm going to start it again. I am going to start it again.
Yeah, well, I'll probably still play.
I'm working on putting together some nice merchandise for our group. I want a stock picks Dr. J T-shirt to wear for yeah. And
we're gonna start wearing uniforms.
if I'm the only one that buys this stupid thing, I don't care. But everybody has a T-shirt.
I'll buy one for sentimental value.
Every YouTuber has a T-shirt, so
right.
I deserve a T-shirt.
All right.
It's going up like crazy. It's Ford. It's not supposed to. It's Ford. Doesn't it know it's Ford?
Right. Doesn't it know it's a Ford?
Yeah. I mean, what's going on? Ford is not supposed to do that.
Yeah. No, they're saying that this EV for the F-150, it's really it really might be a game changer for this company.
It might be. It certainly looks it, right? On the chart. Took out this high of 12.99 the other day.
Yes.
Pulled back to trendline support. Now's the time to buy it. If you're going to buy Ford, now's the time to buy it. It's right.
So now we're actually getting people to buy this F-150. We should have Ford give us a
commission.
Yeah, kickback. A commission. Yeah. I like the word commission better. Sounds more honest.
You want to see what I've been loading up on? I've been loading up on that Chinese stuff, Neo and.
Which one? The
Neo and
XPEV.
Pick one.
Well, I'm still in those queues that you gave me. They're finally starting to turn around a little bit.
Oh,
the Chinese queues.
I'm long out. You want me to chart CQ?
Yeah, might as well do that.
Nobody seems to care about Chinese queues. Most people don't even care about the queues, but oops, chart anyway.
I would say apple juice and orange
juice.
It's
finally turning around, but The concavity has changed a little bit again. Now it broke out.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's perking. It's starting to make a move
It's
back into
percolating.
the.
Yeah, it's got a long way to come back. Look at it as a swing trade, even if it comes all the way back to
Right. 85.
$85. You'd be in the money. What is it now? 80. It's not that much.
Oh, I mean, I'm already in, so.
It's exaggerated.
I think I got in with you about 2 weeks ago.
75 is a low. It's trading at 80, and it looks like the top is 85. So if you were, what would you rather do? Go long or short here?
Me, I'm thinking it's heading back up again.
Yeah,
That's only because of the turn of the 9-day.
I think you're going to find support if it pulls back right at right at these highs. Yeah, doesn't have to fill the gap, but if it fills the gap, it's 78. It's 78 and change. Could fill the gap. It's up sharp today. Could fill the gap.
And I'd also like to see what's that I'd like to see that 100-day bounce off that line.
Yeah, I don't have strong
That's the
feelings.
50-day. I'd like to see the 50 bounce off the 200.
I like the way it's nestled in the 9. You see, it's nestled in there.
Right.
So the 9 is curving up, and even if it pulls back, even if it fills the gap, it still looks bullish. So I would say it's possible you get 78 before 82, but 85 before 75. If I'm a betting man, I might bet 78 before 82, but I would bet 85 before 75. How's that?
Sounds very Brownian.
All right, let's one more for the road. XPEV or
How about doing Dermatech?
Dermatech.
Since that's one that we're all happy with, at least for the moment.
Yeah. I put in the wrong initials. That's because I'm pooping. I'm tiring out. After my mile walk this morning, I did a speed walk. I did a mile in under 30 minutes. Speed
Beautiful
walk.
day for it.
Speed walk for speed
Beautiful
walk.
day for it. Where do you walk, in the park or on the street?
People leisurely walk a mile in 18 minutes. I broke 30.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna go there, Dr. J.
Yeah, well,
I have a bum knee, so I'm happy with a half an hour.
yeah, right. So yeah, look, at least it's come off the lows. It's come off the 200. It's trading above the 9, and a little pullback today. I don't mind. You know,
I'd like to see that 50 curve up a little bit better.
yeah,
I'd be a lot happier.
we have a new trend line. Clearly. Very nice trend line. You buy it here, you're sitting on trend. You sell it below the 9 if you want to swing it. Pick whatever you like for a take profit. How about the middle of this candle? Like $50 for take profit.
Okay.
And very tight stop, maybe the middle of this candle. I don't know, $32. 32, give up at 32, take profit at 48. So you're getting.
You're thinking this guy's going to be a swinger for a while yet?
I like 2-to-1 shots. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
10 points on the long side, 5 on the downside.
Yeah, you got a 2-to-1. True that.
2-to-1.
So you're not an investor in this one.
I am. I have. So I think it's my 4th largest position in my portfolio. All right. I'm very casual about that.
Yeah.
For whatever reason.
It's fine.
I'm behind. I think my average is 41. Where is it now?
What's that? There is
30.
I didn't see.
Well, I forgot the last price. I think I'm behind. I've been buying too much of it on the way up.
Well, It's a common complaint. It is 37.86.
I'm behind a few points, but that's nothing.
Yeah, no, it's only down to 50 cents on the day, and
Okay.
you know, it's holding its own for the week.
Cabinet guy wanted us to chart.
Yeah, he wanted coin. That was the other one that we mentioned.
Oh, we'll do it next time. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
stay away from. My advice is stay away from all cryptos.
Or at least this week.
Let the next guy make the money. All right, but
Well,
nobody,
let's see. We have.
that's unsolicited advice, you know. Nobody listens.
I mean,
Anyway,
I'm still bullish on fresh water.
You really don't give advice, so I didn't give advice. I just said I
No,
didn't
you
say
just
go.
said what you were doing.
I didn't say go long, go short, or hold. I simply said stay away from the bet.
Stay away.
Stay away.
Right, that's the fourth. It was like buy, sell, or hold. Buy, sell, hold, or stay away. That's
Stay
the
away.
fourth one. Right.
Our opinions are strictly our own and do not constitute investment advice.
We certainly do.
Advisor before acting. Give us 2 thumbs up if you can figure out how.
We like those thumbs.
Hit that subscribe button just once. You can't
Subscribe on all your accounts.
You can't oversubscribe. Tell your friends about us.
Yeah.
Listen to boring Dr. J, the senile old guy, because he comes up with stocks that you never heard of that go to 100.
Right. Exactly.
Like Annovis, like
So
Biopath, Annovis, Sava. Nobody was saying this is the year of the Alzheimer's drugs as early as me.
right.
Adios, amigos.
Take care, everybody. Have a good one.